Oh. So, what did we do this month?
Well, we've played a lot. We had the game being played by a lot of people
Yep.
out there. From all the game events that we were at, and people like Stump and other people online.
That was fun to watch.
Yeah,
They broke everything.
they broke everything. I think we learned a lot watching them.
Yes.
We learned a lot about the game, and luckily, there's some things that in watching people like Stump play, we found out that there were mechanics in the game that really need to be addressed.
So, I think the other thing we noticed is we introduced too many concepts too quickly. So that did make us decide to add a bunch more levels in the beginning to kind of pad out the difficulty.
Yeah.
What do we call it? Like
Noob Island.
Noob Island, yes.
And then beyond that, I think there were other things like just making sure that there were a lot of mechanics that were either do or die. I think there were things that we had to, ease up, like make them not so punishing.
Oh yeah, a lot of stuff was too binary. Like it's either you succeeded or you failed miserably. There was no way to recover from some of the horrible things that happened to the does. Now you can save them from becoming moldy, or if they are moldy, you can beat them up, beat the mold out of them, so to speak.
At the end of the day, it's about, we still like the challenge. We don't want to get rid of the challenge, but we also don't want the players to be frustrated. And I think we're trying to find that balance when we're tuning the game and polishing it at this stage. And we're at a point where we're just trying to make sure that we have the tools we need, and the more we play test, the more we get the public to play test it, especially on the people on Discord are trying out the game and things like that. And the more feedback we get, the more we can polish the game. And
well, there's just more room for skill development, not just chance.
Yeah,
that's
basically it.
Yeah, again, that's all about making it less like either succeed or lose. Like there is that window of recovery for a lot of the horrible things that can happen.
Yeah, and on top of that, we added things like new enemy types that were less painful, and
Stucky.
Stucky. The slow brother of Sticky.
Yes.
And that particular enemy type basically introduced the players to enemies, gave them something to punch, and, and clearly a distinct enemy, but were not so detrimental to the players' progress in the game.
Molds don't instantly, the little spore puff doesn't instantly infect mold. There's like a little window where you can save them before the infection sets in. So that's a lot less. I mean, obviously, if it becomes moldy, you've lost it. But at least there's a few moments where you can go in there and beat off the infection.
Yeah, and then also a lot of fine tuning on the movement systems. The
yes.
Finally getting around to polishing all these elements. We're at that stage where we can start tweaking them and play testing and making sure that they're fluid and they feel nice.
Making punching more fun. Because you do a lot of that, so we're adding more. We added more variety to it, so there's a few more sequences to the punches. So for the people that are playing defense or literally just hitting everything on the map, there's going to be a bit more variation, and indeed having less of I'm dashing, I'm moving, I'm punching. Everything flows a bit more. So when you dash, there's a nice sort of flowing and stopping into punching, or when you're walking and punching, you don't just stop instantly. It just feels a little more fun to move around just as a player. Also, just trying to find ways to make certain mechanics a bit more clear, like the cleanse mechanic.
Yes.
A lot of people don't notice how useful it is, and actually, looking back in hindsight, it was almost too powerful once you knew how to use it.
Yeah, which is one of those weird things where internally we're nerfing it and externally nobody knows about it.
Yeah. So. We revamped the island, the whole map, for people that will see it. Now the locations you go to roughly reflect the level that you're going to go to, instead of just you're standing on the beach, but then it's a ruin map.
Yeah.
So now it actually you see some ruins and there's a waterfall or something. That stuff will show up in the actual levels themselves.
Yeah, and we've also got more ideas to add in. Unlocks and things like that, and more interesting things for the party to progression as you play through the levels and things like that.
Do we want to hint a bit at some stuff? Maybe.
later.
Yeah, maybe later.
Yeah, I mean, I think okay. We're at the point at which we sort of like wrapped up. We're getting to the point where we're wrapping up the first world and moving on to the next world.
Yes.
So that's going to be the big thing, starting beginning next year. As we tackle the next world in the game, I think that's going to be the biggest thing as we move towards launch.
I think we're quite happy with the core loop of the game right now. So now it's really like introducing more mechanics and indeed like what does the next world itself look like, and working on it in earnest so that you guys, everyone out there can see some new visuals coming. I think you're gonna like it. Yeah.
Cool.
Anything else?
Do you guys want to introduce yourself?
Who am I? Oh, hi, I am Rainier. I'm the creative director, art director at Streamline Games.
Hi, I'm Mansoor. I'm the senior game designer at Streamline Games.
Okay.
Yeah? Or do we say it again?